Dr. Steve Pechenik, and this is Steve Talks. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America. This is Dr. Pechenik, and today I want to talk a little bit about what President Trump did with Pakistan. Pakistan is a country that was created in 1947 by Muhammad Ali Jinnah from the state of India. And it was created for legitimate reasons because the Muslims wanted to separate from the Hindus, and the Muslims talked a special language of Urdu, and they wanted to be led in a theocratic state under the Quran. And so the state of Pakistan was created. It eventually became ruled by military officers. One of the ones whom I knew quite well, General Yaqub Khan, was the father of their military and was a brilliant man. And subsequently, several generals became the head of Pakistan. Unfortunately, the country never developed a civil society. And the reason for that has more to do with the fact that it really was incubated not only by the military, but by the fact that it was a large piece of land. It had a theocratic overlay, but it had no real judicial underpinning that would allow it to come into civil society. In other words, there wasn't really a central government that was very effective. And when there wasn't a military leader who was corrupt, like El Zia, then you had somebody like Benazir Bhutto, who was exceedingly corrupt. I happen to have known her. We went to school together at Harvard. I found it to be histrionic, not very smart. And eventually, of course, she became the leader of Pakistan. What made it even more interesting is that her father was incarcerated and then executed by the Pakistani army for corruption in a corrupt state. And her husband remained in prison for 11 years and then became prime minister. When she became prime minister, of course, she wasn't any angel there, and unfortunately she really didn't know how to rule the country, and only ruled the country in the image of her late father, and she was eventually assassinated. So what we have here is a country that's highly dependent on the United States, and for us to engage in war in Afghanistan, which we shouldn't have in the first place, we have to fly over Pakistani territory. Now, what makes Pakistan a problem for us is the fact that it's highly dependent on us for monetary subsistence. We've paid over $33 billion, if not more, off the record, to their military. Our CIA, in their inimitable way, has created the Inter-Service Intelligence Agency, which is the ISI, which in turn works with Al-Haqqani, which the CIA knows, and Al-Haqqani is, quote, a terrorist organization, which works in Afghanistan in order to create strategic tension with India. And the issue for Pakistan has always been that we have one enemy, and that one enemy is India. And for the 74 odd years that they've been in existence, they have literally been fighting every day across the borders between India and Pakistan, although the force structures are totally asymmetrical. India has 2.2 million men, Pakistan has about 600,000 actual soldiers, and if there were to be a war, you'd have two nuclear powers going at each other, and both would be decimated. Fortunately and unfortunately, we were able to moderate both behaviors, and Pakistan eventually, despite taking our $33 billion, and then Trump hasn't refused the $126 million until the Pakistanis come forth and become a real ally, which I doubt they ever will be, they decided to become the ally of China, which is fine, because in turn, America has become a stronger ally of India. And Trump and Modi, the Prime Minister of India, are very close. And in turn, India is very close to Russia, and guess what else? India is very close to Israel, and Israel and India have a very close collaboration in terms of military assistance. Ironically, Pakistan has always admired Israel, which is a Jewish state. And as the generals often said, we admire this theocratic military state of Israel, which has never bothered and has become a full ally of the United States. But let me quote the words of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the father of Pakistan, who said, "It is very hard to create a society in which the women become chattel and are incarcerated in four walls, and they become our prisoners." On that note, I bid you good night and farewell. Hi, this is Dr. Steve Pachenik, and this is Steve Talks.